Ready for this? Let's get into it.
Slapper. If I could go dress, I go dress for this one. Shout out to Legend E40. Hey, I'm in the bay with it. Yeah. This right here is a slapper. Yeah. Come on. This right here is a slapper. Yeah. Come on. This right here is a slapper. Yeah. This right here is a slapper. Yeah, this beat is my bitch, I'm a pimp. Slapper. I'm in the club tryna fuck something after. Real trap nigga sell a perk to a pass. When I'm done with this hoe, you can have. I'ma find something better. Yeah. And if the pussy good nigga, I'ma tag her. Ain't a nigga in this game that wanna battle. I'm a king on the throne in my castle. She get freaky when I'm out in the capsule. Beat banging like 96. But I never snitch like a 6'9". Nope. Pull up in a 6'4". Throwing up the motherfucking west side. Crips riding with me like it's 92. New J's on Carolina Blue. Getting to the bag like I'm Uncle Scrooge. Yeah, I've been through a lot and got a lot to prove. This right here is a slapper. 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 This right here is a slapper.
Bustin' the dough like Urkel, nigga smoking purple. Pull off my whip, screech, huh? Lisa Turtle. Bitch body and banging her, man, she wear a girdle. Put the condom on my dick because the bitch is fertile. Beat slapping like he 40 on it. Got my little Brody on it. All the smoke, you know we want it. LA shit, West Coast, we say this. Volume 10, nigga, stay with the pistol grip. 2 chains on my neck, no titty, boy. Like to beat out the ring, huh? Like my name was Roy Jones. Take that, huh? Sean Combs. And if she ain't fucking, she could catch a Uber home. No dreads, but go dumb with the ball head. Boys got a high success rate like the feds. Throwing a towel, y'all little dogs, bow wow. And I'm a big dog, get you up like Puffy Chow.
This right here is a slapper. 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 This right here is a slapper.
I'm on my shit, I ain't feeling myself. Yeah, I keep a bad bitch on my whole top shelf. Like my nigga said, this right here is a slapper. Look for it in your baby mama favorite rapper. Recipes factor. Go stupid, go dumb. I don't give a bitch nothing but hard digging bubble gum. From the Bay to LA, all my niggas getting rich. Do the hawk on the horn, just sauce on my bitch. I made it one time. Swing a Benz like a Hyundai. Rolling up tree like bonsai. Nigga, what's beef to a small fry? I get on a bitch heels like fungi. Catch me at the side show blowing gas ain't gon' eat paper plates on the tip it tycoon. All my nigga do is sumo. Niggas mad cause they bitch wanna kick it like judo. Coach.
This right here is a slapper. 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 This right here is
a slapper. Speaking of a slapper, and speaking of a sumo, I had to start off with this equity inclusion. Equity and inclusion, diversity, equity and inclusion. Look at this shit right here. I wish I was around when this big old girl tried to get in my car. Look, I was on a blind date one time, and I picked up a big girl one time. It was on blind date. Right, and she said she was thick, but she didn't say she was that thick. And I was with my homeboy, and it was 2 of them, and we was in a small ass car, and I like, hey man, hit the corner. I said I didn't answer her phone call back because I knew them 2 big bitches couldn't fit in the back of that car. We needed a tank. Like, you bitches should have told us to come with a tank or something. How we gonna put a Cadillac inside of a Volkswagen? It ain't gonna fit. You can't put no mother. That ain't. Oh my God! It would have been embarrassing. So I know what this dude was talking about when he said, "Look, look, mama, you got to find another way. You ain't gonna fit in this car. Hold on."
So you really telling me I'm too big to get in your car?
You damn right. Didn't the last Uber before tell you the same damn thing? You mean to tell me this is the first time somebody told you, hell no, you can't hop in my car? This happened to your ass before, because I'm pretty sure your ass it's a deluxe. It's a regular Uber and it's a roomy Uber. You know what I'm saying? Where you can have a whole back seat where you can fit luggage in and all kind of shit. right? You knew that you can't get on the airplane and say, look, I want to buy a single seat. You got to buy the whole aisle. So don't act like you gonna get up in a regular Uber, the cheapest Uber, and like I'm gonna fit. You hear this nigga car like this shit is on his last leg. This shit is buzzing. You can hear this shit. He's like, bitch, my car's on its last leg. I need a tune up, a battery, an alternator, bitch. I need all kind of shit. My tires low. Huh? You want to hop your big ass in the car? Yes, you too big.
Deja Blandings recorded it all. Her Lyft driver pulling up only to turn her down.
Because she knew it was going to happen. Look at her face compared to her body. She got a small, look, all of this is regular size. Like, you know what I'm saying? Look, she got a regular size neck, regular size face, but the rest of her body big. Come on.
I was too big, and his tires, something about his tires. I asked him, what do I have to do with your tires?
This happened January.
Bitch, you gonna put them on flat. What the hell you mean? Look, it's certain, look, you can't, look, it's certain amount of pressure you can put on tires, right? Just like it's certain amount of pressure you can put on a plane, you got to even that shit out. You can't put no 500 pounds in the back seat on wheels. That's on the car, that's size. That's a small car. You're going to put 500 extra pounds of meat on one side in the back? Bitch, he going to pop a wheelie through all the way to the Eagles party.
January 18th, the 29-year-old Detroiter was headed to a Lions watch party, only she never got there.
So you telling me I can't get in the Lyft because I can't fit in your car?
You telling me you ain't got no homegirls? You telling me you can't take the money back and buy an Uber, a different Uber, right? You mean you got to record me talking about my car is on its last leg and I can't get your ass in here?
Yeah, you need to order a bigger car.
What make you think I can't fit in the car?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
The driver told her she needed to request an XL car.
Yes.
I was embarrassed, and I feel some type of way about it, you know.
She's hired a lawyer and is suing Lyft.
Well, from a legal standpoint, it seems like obvious discrimination. The Elliott Larson Act, which is Michigan's Civil Rights Act, specifically protects people from weight discrimination.
Weight discrimination.
And the driver here turned down her ride.
Weight discrimination. It's discrimination. Equity, diversity, and inclusion. She should have diversed her ass a sandwich and included her ass a diet. What the hell? Huh? Equity her ass or some motherfucking a treadmill or something. What the hell is wrong with this lady? What the hell is wrong? But we need to see what's wrong with the left. The left is crazy as a motherfucker. The left is cuckoo. The more you see the left, the more cuckoo you see these motherfuckers get. These motherfuckers, like, some of them ain't right mentally. Look at this shit. Listen to what they say.
Sandbag for brains who voted for Donald Trump to make your groceries cheaper. EBT as of today is frozen.
Somebody to fucking tell me. Look, EBT is frozen. They mad at you and say, look, this is what you get. Because EBT is frozen. Now nobody's gonna eat. Hold on, bitch. Everybody not on EBT. This bitch crying talking about this is what you get. Now her kids can't eat because they cut off the food stamps. Didn't nobody cut off the food stamps. They lost their mind over food stamps.
They're lying. I need somebody to fucking tell me they're lying right fucking now, because what the fuck do you mean that I'm not gonna get my fucking SNAP benefits?
Now you can't buy groceries at all, dumbass.
What the
Now you can't buy groceries at all, dumbass, because SNAP is stopped.
I'm gonna get my fucking SNAP benefits.
Now you can't buy groceries at all, dumbass.
What the fuck do you mean? Because what the fuck is happening? Do you understand that there are people like me who cannot work?
And
it is? It's people like you that cannot work, but your ass can get on here and cry like a motherfucker, can't you? Why you can't work? It is people like me that can't work, but you got a YouTube, you healthy, you crying and shit. You don't you like your ass can work at a drive-through to me. You speaking perfect English to me. What's wrong with your ass? Do you know it's people like me that can't work?
What is happening? Do you understand that there are people like me who cannot work?
And
restating right now to correct any confusion that the media has purposely and somehow for whatever reason created Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid have not been affected.
Do you understand there are people like me who have kids who cannot eat?
by any
This bitch said, do you understand? There's people like her that got kids that cannot eat. Why your kids can't eat? This bitch out here talking about her kids can't eat because her SNAP benefits is cut off.
affected
Do you understand there are people like me who have kids who cannot eat?
by any action we're taking in any way, shape, or form. We are merely looking at parts of the big bureaucracy where there has been tremendous waste and fraud and abuse.
Do you understand there are people like me who go hungry the last week of the month just so my kids can't eat? Because SNAP benefits is always—
Wait, you said your kids can't eat. Wait, you go hungry because you go hungry and your kids still can't eat, bitch? Well, you doing something wrong. There's people like me that go hungry and my kids can't eat. Wait a minute, damn, bitch. Why you going hungry then? This bitch is nuts.
There's been tremendous waste and fraud and abuse.
Do you understand there are people like me who go hungry the last week of the month just so my kids can't eat? Because SNAP benefits is all we can get.
In that process, we identified and stopped $50 million being sent to Gaza to buy condoms for Hamas. 50 million.
I need somebody to please tell me he's lying. I can't. What the f am I gonna do?
What the fuck am I gonna do? That's gonna be the new catchphrase. What the fuck am I gonna do? When you get into the next little drama, right? And you get confused and say, what the fuck am I gonna do? Go do that. And everything gonna be all right. What the fuck am I gonna do? Then come my SNAP benefit. What the fuck am I gonna do?
I can't. What the f am I gonna do?
And you know what's happened to them? They've used them as a method of making bombs.
Got the bomb.
Oh, fuck.
Fuck. She wanted to give the motherfucking terrorists bombs made out of condoms. He didn't cut off your damn EBT, cut off the terrorist bombs. Oh my God! That right now. Is this what you voted for? Is this what you voted for, to cut the SNAP benefits, you son of a bitch?
If you voted for Trump, you are not allowed in Mexico. You are not allowed in Cabos, Cancun, Puerto Vallarta, Aguascalientes, none of that. Guess what, baby?
Good, bitch. Well, don't get mad when we don't want you over here. That goes for us too then. You don't come over here then. Okay. She making rules. Don't come to Mexico. Go to your own state.
That's all in Mexico. You don't like us, we don't like you. Don't go there. Stay in your country. Figure it out. Vacation, I don't know, maybe Nebraska perhaps. One of the red states that you love so much. Stay there. Don't have margaritas, don't have tequila, no tacos, no enchiladas, none of that for you.
Wait a minute, bitch. No tacos, no enchiladas. Wait a minute. No, we don't get no motherfucking, no, we can't get no motherfucking tequila. We can't, oh my God, no tequila, no tacos, no enchiladas, bitch. What we gonna do with Taco Bell? What we gonna do with Del Taco? The bitch said, no tequila, no enchilada, bitch. She said, don't cross the border. We got your ass. Don't cross over. We got you. I ain't going to Mexico no time soon, baby. Believe that.
Don't have margaritas, don't have tequila, no tacos, no enchiladas.
Damn, no margaritas? Damn, bitch.
None of that for you.
What are you gonna do? You come take it out of my ham? I'm gonna eat half this plate during the break. Maybe I'll call the ICE hotline. I don't know if I'll have enough time.
Stick to what you know. Maybe a burger, perhaps. No cheese.
Sure. All kidding aside, it was actually really good taco. These people broke the law. They broke the law to get here. And once they were here, they broke the law again. It was just serious crimes, folks. It's not like shoplifting. That's why they gotta go.
It makes
That motherfucker tell you can't eat a taco. This nigga said, I'm eating a taco right now. What you gonna do? Come and snatch it out of my hand, you stupid son of a bitch. Ha! Racism caused the crash. That's what the CNN say.
That person, that employee feel welcomed and that their contributions are valued. And what we're seeing from the president on down is that if you are not a white, straight, Christian, cisgender male, you do not count.
You do not count. I guess I don't count. That nigga said if you not a white, heterosexual, cis man, you do not count. I guess the black dude that blessed his inauguration don't count either. If you are, I guess his Cash Patel don't count. He Indian. Oh my God! If you're not a heterosexual sex man, you are. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. He got women all in his cabinet, but he's racist and he's sexist. But this is racist. My bad. They ain't saying it's sexist. Yeah, he just racist.
And that is why I am still trying to figure out the best way to talk about this without my head exploding.
So, Amy, this has been, let's say, a difficult time. I'm going to understate it. A difficult time to be Jewish in America.
In 2 weeks, it's a difficult time to be Jewish in America. It wasn't difficult when they were trying to run their ass up out of schools, when they was holding all these marches, locking their ass in class, running all up in the synagogue. It wasn't nothing then. But right now, in the last week, it's hell to the Jewish community.
I've just been texting with a friend of mine who's the president of her synagogue. She and others want to know, is it ever going to stop their feeling of being threatened, their feeling of being othered?
It's not.
Whoa, threatening othered? Who was threatening othered? The Jewish people? Who threatened the Jewish people in the last week? I heard about the plane going there. Oh, my God.
Not only just that if you are a white, straight, Christian, cisgender male, you don't count. You're actually to blame for everything evil that's happening in our society.
So if you're a woman, you're to blame. If you black, you're to blame. If you Mexican, you're to blame. Remember, the Democrats are blaming all the same people, right? Last month when Kamala Harris lost, they were blaming the Mexicans, the blacks. Remember, it was the white women's fault. It was the black man's fault. It was the Mexican community fault. It was the Jewish community fault. Right? It was all these people's fault who voted for Donald Trump. Now you're trying to protect the same people saying, wait a minute, this person is racist now? Huh? The same people y'all didn't give a fuck about and say nothing about when the Jews get attacked at all these universities? Y'all didn't say nothing now all of a sudden, the Jewish community is getting attacked. If you're not a heterosexual man and such and such, you're in the blame. Well, these same people was to blame for Kamala Harris losing last month. Ain't that a bitch? Let's go.
This was all caused by bad rules, regulations, and other things by Biden, the Biden administration.
Bad rules. I didn't hear him say nothing about black people. Bad rules, bad regulations. Bad rules, bad regulations.
Bad rules, regulations, and other things by...
Bad rules, bad... I didn't hear nothing about black or white.
Biden, the Biden administration. You better get them in there fast because we don't have people there that are qualified. And you knew that because...
We don't have people there that's qualified. Did you say black, white, man, woman, hetero, Christian? He said people.
Planes were landing very, very late. This was all because of weak rules in the Biden administration.
Weak rules in the Biden administration. I didn't hear nothing about blaming nobody.
So we've seen it in this broader use of DEI or diversity as the code word to basically advance a broader assault on fundamental rights for so many communities across the country.
And when you look at the way they ran things, in fact, if you look, we hired, one of the first things I told them to do, I said, get talented people in those.
Talented people. He said, get talented people. I didn't hear black, white, Chinese, man, woman, transgender, anything. Talented people.
In those beautiful towers overlooking runways.
Particularly for the Jewish community, even if this mandate didn't include the elimination of commemorating Holocaust Remembrance Day, it would still be incredibly dangerous.
Wait, Martin Luther King birthday. Defense Intelligence Agency ordered pause on special emphasis. Martin Luther King, Black History Month, Women's History Month, Holocaust Days Remembrance, Asian Pacific Islander Month, Pride Month, Juneteenth, Women's Equality Day, National Hispanic and Health Month, National Disability Employment Awareness Month, National American Indian Heritage Month. God damn. I didn't even know so many programs exist. What the hell? How many different months does it got? Martin Luther King birthday. You know what I'm saying? All activities paused and all. Okay, Black History Month, all that shit. Women's History Month, all that shit. Holocaust Day, all that shit. Asian American Pacific Heritage Month, all that shit. Pride Month, that shit go. Juneteenth, that shit go. Women, that's everybody up and down the map. Everybody, hold on. I brought this to a point because Morgan Freeman says something that's going to back up why I talk about why I say them with all this, right? Morgan Freeman says it perfect, right? I forgive you what Morgan Freeman said. If you ever heard what Morgan Freeman said, I want you to read all this. Martin Luther King month and this month and all this, so which separates groups. Martin Luther King separates certain group. Black History Month separates certain group. Women History Month separates certain group. Holocaust, remember, separates Asian. That separate Pride, gay, Juneteenth. That's another black. Women's equality, women's health. That's the same thing. National Hispanic Heritage Month. You know what I'm saying? The National Disability Employment Awareness Month, right? National American Indian. Come on, man. You got Indian, Asian. You got everything here. But look what Morgan Freeman says.
Because we know that protecting inclusive, pluralistic democracy in which each and every community is safe is inherent to Jewish safety.
When you talk about DEI and Trump, it means despicable, enraging idiocy.
So if one community is under attack, whether it's in the form of attacks on the Black community, the LGBTQ community, immigrants, or others, it ultimately threatens Jewish safety as well.
He does 3 minutes of let's pause in silence, and then let's blame the Blacks, let's blame the disabled.
But the fact that this mandate specifically names Holocaust Remembrance Day among so many of these other commemorations is a clear reminder that Jewish safety is inextricably linked with this broader assault on diversity, equity, inclusion.
It's going to be an assault on Jewish people over diversity, equity, inclusion. It's the Black people, it's the Jewish people, it's the gay people, it's the way it's going after everybody.
That's what diversity is, and that is what the president said, that Black, brown people, women, and people with disabilities caused this crash.
And that
he never said that. You heard what he said? What she said? She said people, Black, brown, and people, all of them wasn't even in the damn room. What the hell is she talking about?
Assault on diversity, equity, inclusion.
That's what diversity is, and that is what the president said, that Black, brown people, women, and people with disabilities caused this crash.
What? Black, brown people, and women, and people with disability caused this crash. Look at this shit they say.
And that ultimately the scapegoating and attacks that we're seeing here are going to come for all of us and make all of us less safe.
Whoa.
What he is saying is that the only people who are competent to run anything in this country are white men.
On the crash, do you have any concerns that your commentary about things you have described as common sense or your observations could in any way interfere with the thorough investigation of the crash?
No, I think they'll do an investigation. It'll probably come out the way I said it.
His instinct is never to bring people together, but even in some stunning fashion, try to blame others.
I think I'm kind of afraid to be alone in this group. I surveyed these people. I focus grouped them. And they are really, really tired of being accused of either racism or sexism because they voted for Donald Trump.
Woo! Right? Racism or sexism because they voted for Donald Trump. But you can get away with, you accuse us of DEI and being DEI, but you accuse most Donald Trump supporters are being racist and sexist. It's a preconceived opinion.
And it's one of the reasons why so many of them did. I sat on this stage with you and got chewed out when I suggested there's a better language to reach out to voters, that the Harris campaign is missing what they're looking for. I say the same thing here. Americans just want to be Americans.
Americans just want to be Americans. So if you take all that separating the Indian and gay and pride and Juneteenth and this and that and slavery this and slave that and remind people of getting, what's it, Black History Month, to remind black people of getting the shit beat out of them. A whole month of slavery and getting the shit beat out of them and going back to the ancestors and when we were free and remembering all this old slave shit. We don't need to be remembering that every fucking year. Our ancestors being slaughtered. Oh, we need to keep on bringing this up. Why? There's other groups of people that get slaughtered. They want to keep bringing this shit up. Americans and Christians. We're going to have a Christian slaughter month. We're going to have a Muslim. Come on. It's un-American. It's American history. It's not black history. It's American. It happened in America. Even though slavery, they were still part of American history. Them slaves were part of American history. The ones that got killed, the ones that was working on the cotton fields, the ones got beat, the ones got hung, they wasn't part of African history. They were part of American history. They the ones that made it possible for me to be here doing this YouTube right now. American history, not black history. American history. It was Americans.
Not hyphenated Americans, not female Americans, black Americans, Jewish Americans. They just want to be Americans.
Black History Month you find ridiculous. What?
Huh?
You're going to relegate my history to a month?
Huh? You're going to relegate my history to a month? Morgan Freeman said it perfectly. What Donald Trump just said. You're going to relegate my history to a month? All my struggle and all my ancestors died and all. We're going to put it all aside this 1 month, celebrate this 1 month, the shortest month in history, then forget all the rest. This is the first day of Black History Month. What they doing to celebrate Black History right now? Not a damn thing. This is the first day of it right now. What's the celebration? What's the boom? Nothing. Ain't nobody celebrating. Take it out. It's for nothing. You spending money for nothing. Nobody's celebrating Black History Month no more. Ain't no parades, none of that shit. In LA, they canceled the parade for Martin Luther King. It was supposed to be on the same weekend that Trump got inaugurated. They moved that shit to next month. People don't even give a fuck about it no more. It's not what it used to be. So why fund it? Why get this federal funding for shit that don't need the funding because don't nobody give a fuck about it? Black History Month. You think these niggas out here on these pills and all this syrup and all this shit and powder give a damn about some Black History Month? They don't even go to history class, damn it. Huh? Let's go.
They just want to be Americans.
Black History Month you find ridiculous. Why? You're going to relegate my history to a month?
How do you think it makes people feel, Black people, women, any person who has immutable characteristics about themselves, to be told every time that something happens that because they exist in a particular role, it is their fault? How does it make them feel?
Oh, come on. What do you do with yours? Which month is White History Month?
How does it make people feel when they're told that they're a racist?
No. I mean, answer. But answer my question.
I am, because these are predetermined considerations.
But no. You're telling me I'm.
You want an answer?
Well, you're not answering my question.
She's not gonna give you no time to answer. She's gonna cut you off. She's gonna overtalk you, and she's gonna try to make her point.
Well, come on, tell me.
Well, I'm Jewish.
Okay, which month is Jewish History Month?
There isn't one.
Oh.
You're telling.
What month is Jewish History Month? There ain't one. Oh, so all these months is happening. Come on in. We're going to have Indian Heritage Month, Pride Month, all these old national holidays, federal holidays that happen to come in. All these Pride and all this happen to come on in, taking federal funding for nothing. Hell yeah, we got to cut some shit.
Yes, I'm trying to.
You were telling me
Actually,
that
your response is in bad faith. I mean, what she is saying
is something you're not responding to because it doesn't address why Donald Trump immediately went to DEI as an explanation without any evidence whatsoever for what looks to be an inexcusable and certainly a very devastating and tragic plane and helicopter crash a couple of days ago. And instead, you pivot to talking about how terrible it is that some people who voted for Donald Trump are being called racist and sexist.
You see how they don't want to understand. You can't have these preconceived notions about one if you can't accept the preconceived notions about the other. You're saying this and that about them, and you're complaining about them saying this and that about you. How that work?
Oh, why not? Yeah. Do you want one? No. I don't either.
So you're refusing to grapple with the central
for
tension.
Trump.
Understanding.
Frank, it's an
because-
option.
Hold on.
Frank, it's an
because
option
my
for
understanding
Trump.
is of the voter.
Frank,
that is what I do.
it is
I'm
an
opposed-
option.
What about the
for Doc-
immorality
hold on.
and the incompetence
Frank,
of
it's an
blaming
option
DEI
for Donald
for what
Trump.
happened?
You guys can all jump on me. That's
No,
fine.
I'm not.
You hear? They don't want to hear the facts. They like, man, he told y'all before the election. He told y'all what the people were saying. Y'all never believed. Y'all kept on running these fake ass polls. After Donald Trump won, he came on here, told y'all again, and now he's still out there polling the voters, and he's telling y'all what they're saying, and you still don't want to hear it.
I'm not jumping on you. I'm trying to have a conversation with you.
I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history.
Okay, look.
Huh? Black history is American history. Why? You have to separate it.
It is an option for Donald Trump to respect his voters and not scapegoat race.
How are we going to get rid of racism until...
Stop talking about it.
In a situation like that, he chooses not to every time. Why?
He is saying, and I do not defend him, and I've not defended him on this program, because there are things that are more important than Republican and Democrat, and it's why some people lost primaries, and some people are not members of Congress anymore. I'm trying to tell you the truth.
Well, look, you don't have to
I'm
listen.
not-
I just
Hold on,
won my
Mondare, hold
primary,
on.
but you don't have to lecture me.
Dude didn't win the primary, and he thought he was taking a cheap shot. You ain't got to lecture me about it. That's why some dudes are not in Congress, and some dudes lost their primary, because you motherfuckers don't listen to the voters.
That's why some people lost primaries, and some people are not members of Congress anymore. I'm trying to tell you the truth.
Well, look, you don't have to
I'm
listen.
not-
I just won my
Mondare,
primary,
hold
but
on.
you don't have to lecture
Mondare,
me.
hold on,
Would you let me
Mondare. Let me let him
I
finish.
mean, if you're gonna throw shots, I'm just
Mondare, just a second. Let me let him finish.
I'm going to stop calling you a white man.
This is why this show is such a challenge for me, because I really am. And I've been on this show and criticized him many times. I've been on this show and praised him. In the end, how do we get beyond how we look? How do we get beyond how we sound?
Yeah. And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man.
Huh? And that's what he's trying to say. How do we get beyond this? We have to stop calling people certain things. He's saying maybe Donald Trump needs to stop saying the DEI, but you also need to stop calling these people racist and sexist. Because I'm coming with the polls, and this is how we end this conversation. Like Morgan Freeman say, I stop calling you white and you stop calling me black. Let's take it out. Let's call each other American. I'm Morgan Freeman and you George Wallace, motherfucker. Mike Wallace.
Because in the end, we all have a right to a point of view, and I respect yours.
Yeah, I just don't respect the gaslighting and the bad faith conversation.
I
So-
also think you
so-
cannot talk about getting beyond all of those things, race, hyphens, whatever it is, when at the highest offices of the land, you have someone saying, because there is diversity, there is a lack of merit, there is a lack of quality, there is a lack of experience.
I know you as Mike Wallace. You know me as Morgan Freeman.
That is a racist view, that people who have characteristics that they cannot change about them, that don't tell you anything about their intellect, about their experience, are by definition not experienced. Do you understand that?
Some of your okay, well, what about the queen of Miss Inexperience, right? Miss Kamala Harris, right? We're gonna get into her. So when we say DEI is diversity, equity, and inclusion, Donald Trump said we're gonna go with the best qualified. So he went with J.D. Vance. He figured he was the best qualified. And from the looks of it, it looked like he was the best qualified. When Joe Biden ran, he said he's not going to go with the best qualified, which could have been a man. It could have been a woman. Could have been somebody black. Could have been somebody white. Could have been somebody Asian. Could have been anybody. Could have been somebody gay, like Pete Buttigieg. Right? But Joe Biden took all of them out and said, I'm going to pick a woman. So that excluded any man that was qualified more than the woman he was going to pick for the job to help run the country, just in case he couldn't do it. And we see he couldn't do it. And she didn't step up and do it. Right? So we all know what happened in that first thing when Joe Biden was the last in the primaries and all of those shit. And we all know what happened when we went to South Carolina or whatever, and your boy, you know what I'm saying, Jim Clyburn said, hey, man, if you pick a woman of color, you got our vote. And then Joe Biden came out with Bernie Sanders in the next debate and said, well, I'm going to pick a woman. I'm going to pick a woman. Oh, he's going to pick a woman. And remember, that was the talk of the town. It wasn't the best qualified. Everything went away from all the other qualified candidates, right? Who probably could have, if it was a somebody that the Democrats could have fell behind and Joe Biden couldn't have made it, it could have fell behind, right? It wasn't Kamala Harris. She was last. She got kicked out way early, right? It was way more people, way more qualified than Kamala Harris, right? So we're going to talk about the queen of Miss Queen of DEI. Let's go.
Own supporters, including Republicans on Capitol Hill, have labeled Vice President Kamala Harris, who is the first Black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president.
Huh? The first Black and Asian woman. She didn't say her qualifications, right? She said her DEI qualifications, not her job or her experience qualifications. The first Black and Asian, not the first such and such, attorney general, none of that. First Black and Asian woman. So they come with a question about DEI and want him to answer about DEI and ask him why he's talking about DEI.
Be on a major party ticket as a DEI hire.
I do, because I listen to this. I hear this and I internalize it. And for those who feel like they're being marginalized, we have to do more. I agree with you.
It's not even just about being marginalized. It's just about recognizing
I just said I agree with you.
They don't even look. Even when you agree with a Democrat, they still got to over-clarify with it. Okay, and disagree with you. It's not just about that. He said, I agree with you. It's not just about that. She got to overemphasize. He like, baby, I agree with you. Can't you just take the win? Take the dub?
With you.
It's not even just about being marginalized. It's just about recognizing
I just said I agree with you.
I know, I'm saying, but look, I'm not trying to use academic.
Is that acceptable language?
You're not going to hear me. You hear him? You're not. I'm agreeing with you. Can I talk? And so you can understand? But that's not what we're talking about right here. We're talking about something else. We're talking about Donald Trump and DEI.
To you, and will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
I'm not trying to use academic language to talk about this. I'm just saying that there are people. Look, a couple days ago, there was a Harvard-educated Olympic track star was told that she wasn't qualified to have gone to Harvard, that she was basically a DEI admit to Harvard. I mean, that's just from a...
What did that got to do with anything? Like, why did you even bring that up?
Yes, that's wrong.
That is
we
wrong,
all agree
right?
that's wrong.
May I ask you a question
we
about
all
this?
agree with that, but there's nothing I can say to you on this panel for any of you that's going to satisfy you.
No. May I ask you a question about
And that's
this?
the problem.
How do you define DEI? Go ahead.
So you're saying
she don't know how to define DEI, right? Go ahead. He tell you, how do you find DEI? Go ahead. So if you can't define it for me, how can I answer the question? If you can't define what DEI is, you don't know what it is. You just know it's a word. You know what I'm saying, that you threw out there, right? Trying to put me in a bubble. What's the definition? What's your definition of it? Oh, it's DEI. That's what it means.
Americans felt alienated by the way Democrats talked about some of these things.
Yes.
How do you define
diversity, equity, inclusion?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that what your definition?
That is
Give me a
literally
definition
the words
then. Would you give me a definition
DEI.
of that? Give me a definition.
Sir, I'm asking you a question,
No,
a
you
very
have to
direct
define
question.
it. Define it for me, if you
I
would.
just defined it, sir.
Just define it, sir. She don't know what the fuck it is. She don't know what it is. She can't define it because she don't know what the fuck it is.
Okay, but do you think that this is the antidote? That I think that's the question here. I mean, you can be critical of terms that Democrats have used, but it's not clear to me how this approach is better. In fact, it seems exponentially worse.
Do you believe that Vice President?
Do you hear that? You can say the Democrats use racist and sexist and call people Nazis and all that, right? But this is worse.
President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman.
To be scapegoating, whether it's hyphenated Americans or otherwise, any group of Americans for this tragedy, to be purging government data from websites under the guise of DEI and rooting out wokeness. I guess that's where I think there's a bit of a disconnect here. It's like,
I agree with you.
Well, I can say no, I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black.
okay.
I agree with you. And you're probably surprised.
They don't know what to say. He's trying to be calm. He's trying to be collective. He's trying to say, I agree with you, but you also have to agree with these other people are saying too. But they're not willing to accept that.
That's the goal in all of this. How do we get to the point when we are judged by our merit, when you're judged by our performance?
So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always
But you know
identified
what?
as a black woman.
I
She went to a
respect
historically
either
black
one.
college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't.
I've had two experiences. Number one is my house almost burned down in Brentwood. I wasn't even there to see it. And I want the best people possible to be on the front lines fighting that fire.
Your early support of Vice President Biden helped him secure the path to the nomination, which I've already noted. But you've also said before that his selection of an African-American woman, because he's already said that he's going to choose a woman, but you've gone on record as saying that Biden's selection of a black woman for VP was, quote, not a must.
President.
Remember when the most famous DEI, a black woman? Remember that? It wasn't the most qualified. A black woman. Not just a woman, a black woman. Joe Biden said a woman, right? But all the time we knew it was a black woman. We knew it. It was 5 or 6 black women up there, way more qualified than Kamala Harris. Imagine if they would have won, and some of them less qualified than Kamala Harris. Imagine if they would have won, or got on the them presidential, vice presidential ticket, right? But think about, he narrowed it down, not the most qualified. It was probably way more men, way more qualified than Kamala Harris. It was probably governors, mayors, senators, right? Congress. It was probably way more people more qualified than Kamala Harris. But you chose her. You chose her. Right? Because you was forced to.
Biden has for 3 months said his running mate will be a woman.
So I wonder, one, has your view on that changed given where we are and what's happening in the country right now? And two, have you talked with Vice President Biden recently about his thinking in terms of a running mate?
Right? Because right when it was during the presidential race, right? Remember, it was the George Floyd shit. Remember all the stuff that's going on with the George Floyd stuff. So he had to pick a black woman. Huh? He couldn't have picked a white man with the George Floyd riots going on and her speaking out and all this old shit, her holding campaign funds for Minnesota Freedom Funds and all. He couldn't leave her out. He had to pick her. She was doing too much, right? For the Black Lives Matter people. Holding funds, and holding donations, talking about they're not going to stop and all this old shit and holding rallies with him. And he had to pick her. All them other bitches wasn't doing it. It was Kamala Harris talking out for pro-life and all this old gay rights and shit like that, right? And knew she was going to be a puppet. That's why you picked her.
Commit that I will, in fact, I'll pick a woman to be vice president.
Well, you're right about that. That's exactly what I said. But I also said, but it would be a plus.
Now, with recent events, is Biden under more pressure now to choose a woman of color?
It's not a must, but it would be a plus.
Because it's not a must, but it would be a plus, right? Is he under pressure to choose a black woman? DEI pressure? Yes. Right? Because that's how he secured supposedly the black woman vote. All them sorority sisters and all them people come out, yeah, first woman vice president, we're going to do this, first black woman and shit. She changed from an Indian to a black woman to run for diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
That's what I believe. I've said that over and over again. I think that Joe Biden is going to give the kind of consideration to every woman that is out there that needs to be given.
Not every candidate, not every qualified person, every woman. So he narrowed the field. It's not what's best for the country, because if it was best for the country, he would have got the best qualified man, woman, gay, whatever. The best qualified, like Donald Trump say, the best qualified for the job. Why we couldn't run on that? When you narrow it down to a woman and when you narrow it down to a black woman, that take a lot of people out of the field.
Black, brown, and white.
There are a number of women who are qualified to be president tomorrow. I would pick a woman to be my vice president.
I landed 55 minutes before this plane landed. I could have been on it. So I feel it. I hear this and I get it. And you're correct and you're correct.
You just committed here tonight that your running mate, if you get the nomination, will be a woman?
Yes.
Clear, sir. Do you believe that
I think somebody should look into that too when you ask continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
It's a direct question, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is a DEI hire, as some Republicans
I really don't
have
know.
said?
I mean, I really don't know.
The vice president committed to picking a woman as his running mate. If you get the nomination, will you?
In all likelihood, I will.
Huh? So both, in all likelihood, I will. How he knew Bernie Sanders wasn't the best, you know what I'm saying, for the vice president? What if he would have picked the Bernie Sanders and got the Bernie Sanders crowd behind him? Or the Bernie Sanders, he would have probably had Joe Rogan, right? He would have had a lot of people. Think about this, right? He didn't pick somebody that was duking it out with him, who had their own following, even like Elizabeth Warren or somebody like that, or Pete Buttigieg, you know, somebody had their own backing, right? He went out and picked somebody totally unknown from a list of totally unknowns. He probably picked the most known totally unknown, right? But what if he would have got Bernie Sanders? You don't think Bernie Sanders was qualified? They stole 2 Democratic nominations from him. He had his own following. It was a lot of Bernie Sanders fans. Bernie this, Bernie. You would have had so many motherfuckers. You would have had the people that hated Donald Trump, and you had the people that loved Bernie Sanders. Huh? And if Joe Biden would have slipped, guess what? Bernie Sanders would have came on with his little fiery ass, and y'all still would have had a candidate that still had a crowd. Probably could have gained some people if he would have spoke up on some Joe Biden is crazy shit and let me in this motherfucker, right? He probably would have gained some people. You never know. But no, you want to go with Kamala Harris, somebody that came in 0 place, didn't make no primaries, was the first to leave, got the most donations from the millionaires, and still fucking failed in her own fucking state. You picked the worst of the worst. Even when they said we want to poll to see who run for president before she was president, they was going to run a poll and she was last. Huh? Behind Ben Shapiro and all the rest of the sons of bitches. She was last. But now she's the best thing since sliced cheese. They'll put it up on the pedestal. She's black, she's a woman, she's a prosecutor. You know what I'm saying? She's the vice president, she's a sorority sister, she's a Harvard graduate, right? She's for the working class, she's a woman rights. She all this now. Gay rights, this rights. Huh? But she failed DEI.
The question is, do we beat up on it and yell about it and complain, or do we try to get a solution? Do we try to get beyond it? And the problem is, there's nothing I can say that's going to convince you.
Well, Major, he continues to face tremendous pressure to pick a woman of color, but CBS News has learned that his team continues to vet or look into the backgrounds of several women.
Huh? He is pressured to pick a woman of color. That's a DEI hire. That's not a woman of talent.
For me, it's not just nominating or a woman. It is making sure that we have a progressive women, and there are progressive women out there.
Michelle Lujan down in New Mexico is an outstanding woman. I understand her name has been put out there. In fact, I mentioned it before, and she's being vetted.
Senators Elizabeth Warren, Amy Klobuchar, Kamala Harris, and Tammy Duckworth, a paraplegic Iraq War veteran. Governors Michelle Lujan Grisham of New Mexico and Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan. Congresswoman Val Demings of Florida. Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms and former Obama National Security Advisor Susan Rice.
Susan Rice would have been better. Huh? Eliza Holt would have been better, right? She had Elizabeth Warren would have been better than Kamala Harris. I don't know about Tammy. I don't know about her. Huh? Gretchen Whitmer would have been better because they were talking about running her for president. She would have been better, right?
Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance.
I don't know about Keisha Lance Bottoms, but she was better than Kamala.
Bottoms and former.
Huh? And especially Susan Rice. Susan Rice with the Obama administration. Everybody thought it would have been Susan Rice, the most popular one. You didn't go with her.
Obama National Security Advisor Susan Rice.
I think that Kamala Harris is great. I think Stacey Abrams, Keisha Lance Bottoms, Val Demings.
Stacey Abrams. This nigga says Stacey Abrams, the election denier.
Karen Bass.
Karen Bass, the LA mayor. What the LA mayor who couldn't answer a fucking question with a vice president. Pick her, Joe. Remember, some people thought it was gonna be Karen Bass. Some people thought it was gonna be old girl from Georgia. They thought it was gonna be her. They thought it was gonna be everybody. Some people said, most people said it's gonna be Kamala Harris. DEI. They didn't say nothing about no white women.
Marsha Fudge. All these are outstanding women, and I think they will get their proper due.
But in order for us to get beyond it, Donald Trump and the woke right, they have to stop talking about it.
But I think it would be a mistake for us to say what must happen when we have no idea what will show up in the polling, what will show up in the vetting. The only thing that's a must in this process at this time is to win.
Not to choose the best for the job, it's to win. Right? It's to win. No men, right? And you can cancel basically all the white women. It's between these black hoes.
Despite the recent headlines, Biden continues to insist he's looking for someone he'd be comfortable working with and who he believes is qualified for the job. And we're expecting an announcement.
He's comfortable with you. Comfortable with the woman who called you a racist, the woman your wife called a bitch on stage, the woman your wife do not like. You're more comfortable with her than Elizabeth Warren or somebody you've been working with for years, and Susan Rice, somebody you worked with in the Biden administration and Obama administration for years. You feel way more comfortable with Kamala Harris than you do with any other candidate that you worked with for years. Huh? Even Hillary Clinton, right? You feel more comfortable with Kamala Harris than you do with Hillary Clinton? Susan Rice? Huh? Elizabeth Warren? Did you work with her as a senator? But all of a sudden, You feel more comfortable with Kamala Harris, huh? Huh? You feel more comfortable with Kamala Harris, huh?
Despite the recent headlines, Biden continues to insist he's looking for someone he'd be comfortable working with.
Huh? He comfortable working with Kamala Harris, the one who called him a racist. He worked with Strong Thurman, denied her, tried to deny her going to school. All this sort of shit. Said he need to apologize to the girls for breathing on him and shit like that. And she believed the old girl who said Joe Biden done some shit back in the senator days, right? Remember all that? She said she believed, but he more comfortable working with her.
And who he believes is qualified for the job, and we're expecting an announcement by August 1st.
That's the must. It'll be a plus to have an African American woman. It'll be a plus to have a Latina, and it'll be a plus to have a woman.
So my very strong tendency is to move in that direction.
But just remember, it will not be the first time. Sarah Palin turned out not to be a good choice when the vetting took place. We had the same problem with Geraldine Ferraro. She was an outstanding woman, but when they did the vetting of her, but didn't do proper vetting of her husband. And that turned out to be a problem.
The reason that we're talking about it is because it was a deliberate decision that the Trump administration made. I would much rather be talking about the economy. And
we would too. You can't talk about the economy. They always want to talk about some other shit, right? Donald Trump never used racism. He always used the most qualified. They asked him about DEI. He never said DEI. The press keep asking him about DEI. He never asked about, he answered questions about DEI, but he said the most qualified. He never said a race.
some of the other things that I know that the Donald Trump administration is going to do, but we're not in the now second week of the Trump administration. We are ending it talking about DEI because this was a decision that they made.
Are you saying this crash was somehow caused and the result of diversity hiring? And what evidence?
What did she ask? What question did she ask? But when he came on there asking, what was the question she asked? Are you saying that? No, bitch, I'm not saying that.
This crash was somehow caused and the result of diversity hiring, and what evidence have you seen to support these claims?
It just could have been. And to be clear, our discussion of it is not out of.
It just could have been. It could have been. I didn't say it did. I said it could have been. We don't know.
Nowhere. It's not something we created out of whole cloth. It doesn't mean that we're harping on something that the American people would rather we not talk about. It is responding directly to something that happened.
And the only person who to your point, injected race into this is Donald Trump.
We have a high standard. We've had a much higher standard than anybody else.
We could be having a very normal investigation into a national tragedy, comforting these families. But this is the conversation that not only do they want to have, but they are making it the only conversation around what happened here.
And there are things where you have to go by brain power, you have to go by psychological quality, and psychological quality is a very important element of it.
Did he say black or white? Did he? Why they keep on injecting race? What part did Donald Trump use race? When he said do you mean black people can't be psychological capable of handling this type of job? What is they saying? He ain't saying nothing about race. I'm trying to find out when he talk about race and DEI.
And that is not just wrong from a moral perspective, but it's also a missed opportunity to keep Americans safe.
These are various very powerful tests that we put to use, and they were terminated by Biden. And Biden went by a standard that's the exact opposite.
He's talking about standards. He's talking about standards. Standards. You know what the fuck standards is? That's not racist. If you want to assume he's talking about racism, you can assume what the fuck you want to by the questions they ask. But he's talking about standards and talking about Joe Biden standards and Barack Obama standards and the shit they put in. He ain't saying nothing about it. Donald Trump is very smart. You can assume what you want to, but it's not what he said, damn it. Oh, you're going to do food stamps. That's not what he said, damn it. Huh? Donald Trump say what he say. Look at this dude. He hate white people. He hate white people.
How do we deal with this? Because these things have real implications. Everything Joyce just described, people are affected by this. This is not an abstraction.
Well, both the president and Secretary Hegseth, I believe, said in that press conference in the briefing room that elevation was probably the issue here.
We tried to tell y'all. I mean, Ali, I wrote specifically about this issue, what he was going to do to the Department of Justice multiple times during the election cycle, because as you pointed out in your open, this was all written down. So I don't like the shock and awe version of this, because if you had been paying attention, they wrote it down. They told you exactly what they were going to do and exactly how you were going to do it. And a majority of white people voted for this.
A majority of white people voted for this. You see how they keep on saying white people, white people. They blame everybody. Last week it was the white women, the black men, the Mexican men, right? It was everybody else. Now it's back on the white men that voted for Donald Trump. You doing this. You voted for this.
We're going to do and exactly how you were going to do it. And a majority of white people voted for this.
It seems to be the case with the helicopter. And to your point, I mean, they were likely right in the moment, immediately after. And here it has been completely hijacked by something else.
This is the disgusting version of America that people want. And oh, by the way, eggs are still more expensive. So you didn't even get that. Great job, white folks.
Oh, eggs are still more expensive a week after Donald Trump is in office. Thank you, white folks. He's supposed to bring down the eggs in 48 hours.
I do think, though.
That's a nice use of the passive
Can I
tense.
just say one thing about that? Just because we just had a whole conversation about this crash, the elevation is a fact, right? They were at the wrong elevation. The question is, and what the investigation will find out, is what actually caused that to happen.
In terms of how we cover it as a media or as a media group, right? We have to stop acting like any of these things have any basis in reality, right? Your earlier segment about birthright citizenship is a perfect example of how you should cover it. There is no question about whether or not birthright citizenship is constitutional. It just is, right? There is no question about whether or not the Civil Rights Act should apply. It just does. And every time the media tries to sane wash Trump, whitewash Trump, explain Trump, defend Trump, what they're doing is muddying the waters on these issues that we have already decided, right?
And yes, he did say, oh, the elevation is the problem, but then he said it's because of DEI and because of a lack of standards as a result.
He never said it because of DEI. He says it because of lack of standards. They asked him, was it because of DEI? He answered the question. Oh my God, these motherfuckers. Come on. You see how they try to do that? They try to tie what old girl asked them or with the analyst asked them, and they try to tie that with Donald Trump answer. He never said it because of DEI. He said because of standards.
Of diversity initiatives.
And I'm not saying that there's not a place for nuance. I actually wrote in The Nation about how if Trump wants to end DEI programs, that's legal. DEI is a policy. DEI is a policy invented by white folks who try to stop other white folks from being racist.
At least he told one fact. Look, think about this, right? Look. It's not just about Black folks. How many programs have you seen in Pepsi or certain areas when they tell white folks, if you don't go through this DEI training or you don't believe this, you can't work here. So it wasn't just that white people have to be white. They also have to think a certain way. You have to think DEI. You have to think DEI policy. You have to go through the training. If you didn't go through the training, you couldn't get the job. DEI was qualification for some job requirements. You have to go through the DEI training. As a white person, some white people refuse to go through and say, hey, man, that's racist. I'm not going to go through a DEI and feel like I'm some type of oppressor. Right? You're going to make me take tests of how I feel about the work with Black people and the white, and how it feels as a white person to work with the Black people and feel inferior to them or superior to them. I'm not finna sign no test like that just to get this job. Like, you had this shit in the Army, DEI training. You got to do 56 hours and 30, There's certain police things you have to do DEI training. People got tired of that shit. Working certain corporate office, you got to go through DEI training. Pepsi and Walmart, no, DEI training. For what? To show white people are more superior than black people. Right? Okay, what is this about? We're going to get more jobs? No. It's just a training to get the job. We got to implement this federal program so we can incorporate this money. We got to do this. We got to create these holidays, these federal grants. We got to create all this shit so we can get this money. It really don't mean shit. Juneteenth really don't mean shit. People ain't celebrating. It's another day I just added, 3 years ago to make black people feel, oh, Juneteenth, oh, yay. Mexican holiday, oh, yeah, Indian, oh, yeah. Holocaust Day, yeah. Single Parent Day, yeah. Pride Month, yeah. It's suspend. When does it stop? When did this shit stop?
Trump is diagnosing the problem by saying that the blame is actually on this thing that we don't know had anything at all to do with it.
Right. If they want to end the policy, the next media question shouldn't be like, oh my God, you're ending DEI. The next media question should be, okay, so what are you doing to combat racism in employment and hiring? What are you doing to combat sexism in employment and hiring in the federal government, the largest employer in the country?
Which is the
not a damn thing. We're gonna go with the smartest. You trying to say that black people can't be as smart as white people? Joe Biden said black people are just as talented as white people. Smart people. Huh? Black people can do the job. Give us the same opportunity in the schools below so we can get to the schools up high and let's compete on an equal level. Give us the same academics, give us the same standards as you give the other schools that get the different funding. Give us the same opportunity and let us go for what we know. Right? Fuck equity, because we ain't gonna never get that. You ain't gonna never take enough from the rich and give to the poor, because one thing, the poor is not gonna know how to use it. You know what I'm saying? Give it somebody who never had something, and see what they do with it. Right? So don't talk about how you gonna give people free shit. That's racist. It's just for the Democrats, or the liberals, or whoever that say other motherfuckers like the Republicans and Donald Trump is all that is sexist and racist. DEI ain't came up. Barack Obama was one of the first motherfuckers came up with it. Right? It's not nothing old. It's something new. It's policies. That's why you say if you want to end it, this is the most racist son of a bitch it is on NBC. He even said it. Or if you want to do it, Donald Trump has the right. It's just policies that white people use to make other white people look racist. that Democrats and liberals make the use conservatives look racist. That's what he was trying to say. He don't want to say it. But what white people is he talking about? And what white people is using it? And using it against who? Liberals using racism against conservatives. White people using DEI to say other white people is racist.
Part where I said then he hijacked the point that he was trying to make about the elevation.
Because if the answer is nothing, well, then that becomes illegal. Well, then that violates the Civil Rights Act. That violates the 14th Amendment of the Constitution, the Equal Protection Clause.
So we don't know, but we do know that you had two planes at the same level. You had a helicopter and a plane. That shouldn't have happened.
So the question has to be, fine, you want to end DEI? What's next, right? It's all like, you're going to repeal it. What are you going to replace it with? Because just going back to antebellum racism, that's what's illegal.
But Frank, you're the master of language, so you probably have a better way of articulating this than I do. The conversation that I do think needs to be taking place in this country, and unfortunately Donald Trump uses DEI as the euphemism for it, is we have lowered standards across the board.
You heard what he said? We have lower standards across the board, right? Standards. He finally said what Donald Trump say right here. Watch what the dude asked him. Donald Trump asked a question about DEI. Answering the question about DEI. He's not invoking it.
You have today blamed the diversity elements, but then told us that you weren't sure that the controllers made any mistake. You then said perhaps the helicopter pilots were the ones who made the mistake.
It's all under investigation.
We have lowered standards across the board in the name of entertainment, in the name of whatever. And it's happening. It's happening in education. It's happening in sports. It's happening in the workplace. And that is a conversation that I think is legitimate and needs to be had.
You can't have that shit on CNN. He snuck that one in. They didn't know what the fuck he was going to say. They're like, oh, hell no. You heard what he just said? Huh? He's saying that the standards is lower. He's talking about DEI is actually happening. Let's get this nigga off.
I understand that. That's why I'm trying to figure out how you can come to the conclusion right now that diversity had something to do with this crash.
Because I have common sense.
It's not just.
Because I have common sense. He didn't never say diversity, equity, inclusion. I have common sense. That's all he said. You stupid son of a bitch. They asked him the question, he just answered it.
About meritocracy, really.
Donald Trump is the master. Donald Trump is the fucking master. He used their words, right? And even though he agreed with it, he let them say it, and he's agreed with them and the say shit, but he let them ask the question. He never said the words. He said the way we signed the bill about shit like that. I signed the bill about this, and I signed the bill, but he never invoked the shit. They the one keep invoking. Oh, you said diversity, equity, and inclusion. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, because of this, because of that. Oh, the next reporter. But you said diversity, equity, inclusion. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it shouldn't have happened. You know what I'm saying? Because of Biden standards and such and such and such, right? But you said DI, yeah. And Biden shouldn't have done this, and I'm putting in some standards. Yeah, he let them say it, and he just answered the question how he want to answer it. This nigga is genius.
Because it sounds like, based on what a lot of these folks are saying, the idea that there are not enough white people in certain roles is the problem, according to some of these folks pushing that.
Back to just some of the headlines over the past 10 years, you have many hundreds of people suing the government because they would like to be air traffic controllers, but they were turned away because of the color of their skin.
Yeah, look, this is a completely bad faith effort on the part of the Trump administration and Trump's allies. And you know they don't care about qualifications because you can just look at the qualifications of the white people who Donald Trump has nominated to lead departments and agencies.
That policy ends under Donald Trump's leadership because safety is the first priority of our aviation industry.
Y'all didn't catch that?
No, we didn't catch that. He said people been turned down because of the color of their skin, right? It's been a lawsuit. And I want you to think about what he finna try. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and play it first.
Air traffic controllers, people who want to be an air traffic controller, they've sued. They've sued because of the color of their skin.
I mean, these are...
Right? So, is it J.D. Vance's fault that the motherfuckers sued because of the color of their skin? Some of them could have been black. Some of them could have been Mexican. Right? We don't know what these lawsuits is. He never said a color. Right? He never said a color. Even if he did say a color, right? Or even if he did, let's say, assume all of them was white. That's the lawsuit that the people filed. That's not something J.D. Vance just dug out the sky and said, look, man, these 1,000 people are suing because of this and because of that. He said they're suing because they was discriminated against because they color. Maybe 100% of them was white. Let's say that. But let's say some of them say they was black or you know what I'm saying, or Hispanic or whatever. Because what you fail to realize and what a lot of people don't know is when you go to a lot of airports, you see a lot of Indians. Right? There's a lot of Indians that working inside them things, you know, inside them control booths and stuff like that, right? A lot of Indians working in airports that don't really know English. Go to the Denver airport and try to talk to somebody black with good hair. They ain't gonna know a lick of English. That's one of the biggest hubs in the country. Go to Denver airport. If anybody been to Denver airport for a layover, right? You know, you try to speak to one of them Ethiopians or something like that, they run that shit. Go to St. Louis. Huh? Go to what else airport? They run the shit. You see this? Go to Houston and see how many Indians working at some bitch. Right? They get people from other countries. It's diversity, equity, and they get people from other countries, not just Americans. Right? You mean to tell me Indians and Ethiopians and all of them is the only motherfuckers that can work in the airport? That push and clean and all this stuff. You like, damn, these motherfuckers got all the jobs.
Among the least qualified people that the Senate has ever considered. When you look at a guy like Pete Hegseth, who ran 2 nonprofits into the ground and had to be fired from, you know, from those roles.
Y'all need to see. Y'all always got to pay attention.
Who has, you know, confessed to alcohol abuse and certainly has never done anything close to running the Department of Defense in a department of its size.
He didn't say gender. He didn't say sexuality. It was the color of their skin.
When you look at Tulsi Gabbard, who, you know, is literally someone who many people, I think, accurately describe as a national security threat, now poised to become the director of national intelligence.
Y'all know it ain't that many black and brown air traffic controllers, right?
Well, maybe they filed the lawsuit and say, I would discriminate because there's too many white air traffic controllers. You just made yourself look stupid. Of course he didn't say no sex because it wasn't because didn't no sexual or didn't no women or no men filed no lawsuit say I was discriminated on as a man or woman. That didn't happen. Right? The gayness didn't happen, evidently. The only thing happened was it was the color of their skin. And if it's not too many black people in air traffic control, I pretty much bet you that some of them lawsuits were black people saying that I'm being discriminated against because I'm black. Guaranteed.
You know, when you look at a guy like RFK, who's supposed to be over public health in this country, but doesn't believe in science and pushes dangerous conspiracy theories.
We're not done yet. Here is the former TV host, who's now the Secretary of Defense, Peter Hegseth. Listen to the racism in his statement.
Listen to the racism in this statement. I'm going to break it down, and I want you to tell me the racism in his statement. Pete Hegseth. The Democrats and the liberals just evoke this shit, and they have people believing this shit like, yeah, that was racist. I want you to see what part was racist.
We will have the best and brightest in every position possible. As you said in your inaugural, it is colorblind and merit-based.
Colorblind and merit-based. We will have the best. Colorblind, is that racist? If somebody is colorblind, that means they don't see color, right? Last time I checked. And merit-based, is that racist? If you say we're going to get the best for the job, right? Look. That's gonna be my next skit, right? I'm gonna do DEI, right? I'm gonna say I'm gonna have people. I'm gonna go to a store and do the same thing I've done with the Donald Trump shit. I'm gonna have people sign up for DEI in sports, right? You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna have more, you know, Mexicans in the NBA and more transgenders in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Like I want you to sign a petition for DEI. I mean, you know, since we don't want to end DEI under the Donald Trump program, we want to sign this petition right here where we want to put We want DEI for transgenders inside the NFL and Mexicans and Asians inside the NBA. It should be some shorter motherfuckers inside the NBA. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be all tall motherfuckers. We ought to get some Mexicans, you know what I'm saying? Some people that's a little slower, you know? It shouldn't be a bunch of fast people dunking and shooting three-pointers, you know what I'm saying? It should be some Mexicans out there. There should be Asians out there. They got skills. It should be more transgenders playing tackle football. They'll tackle the shit out of somebody. You ever been tackled by a dude and tackled with love? You ever been tackled and the dude is like tackle you and it's like this tackle you gently, rough but gently at the same time? You ever had a look? You talking about balls? Transgenders play with balls all the time. They good with balls. You get a transgender running the back, he is not gonna fumble the ball. He'll hold the balls tight. Any ball you throw to him, he gonna catch. He's not gonna drop no ball. We need more transgenders, Who you think gonna bend over? Look, it could be who you think gonna bend over and hand the ball off through his legs, you know what I'm saying, rubbing his ass more than a transgender. Like, he would love that height all day for free. Who would love, like think about this. And you got somebody running to make a touchdown, right? You got, God damn it. You got Barkley running to get a touchdown, and you see and all of a sudden you see a transgender to see Barkley butt that's going from left to right to left and right. He would track Barkley down from 35 yards down to tackle that nigga at the 1 yard line with love. Right? He would do that. You can't look, it needs to be more transgenders in the NFL. I'm gonna have a petition. We're gonna get a sign, you know what I'm saying? Because ain't nobody gonna catch no ball better than a transgender. We need to come out with our own league or some shit, like a transgender football league. Just have a ball shaped like a dildo and just throw it and have them catch it and, you know what I'm saying, try to steal it from each other and stuff. Bam! That'd be a hell of a league right there. Let me get back to Pete Hegseth and his racism.
You know, Pete, I don't understand why. Well, actually, I do. I get it. It's a distraction. It's a way to get us talking about it. But I also want to just highlight for a second the human consequences of this.
The best leaders possible, whether it's flying Black Hawks and flying airplanes, leading platoons, or in government.
There were
the best people possible. That's racist. Whether it's flying or driving or leading platoons, the best people possible, nigga, that's racist.
3 people aboard that Black Hawk. We don't know what happened on that aircraft.
The era of DEI is gone at the Defense Department.
But the family of one of the people, this is our reporting at CNN, it says, at the request of the family, the name of the 3rd soldier will not be released at this time, according to the Army said. Though the 3rd soldier's name is not being released at the request of her family, CNN was told she was co-piloting the Black Hawk and had about 500 flight hours.
And we really don't know, when they say her right nowadays, just like the killer inside that school, just like the dude who raped the women in the prison, when they say her, we really don't know what kind of her they talking about now. You know what I'm saying? We really don't, because if it was somebody like, we want to respect that soldier, we want to respect that person that passed away for the country, that made a mistake, but we like, wait, we don't want this person's name out. The other two like, hey, this person, this person, you know what I'm saying? Wait a minute, we finna keep her a secret. I'm not saying nothing. I'm not accusing nothing. I'm not connecting nothing. I'm just saying her, and you don't want to release who the fuck her is. Sound mighty strange to me, bro.
And we need the best and brightest, whether it's in our air traffic control, or whether it's in our generals, or whether it's throughout government.
The best and brightest. Look at it. Look at it like the best and brightest. He said that's racist.
Y'all didn't catch that?
Nope.
So there were 3 people on the Black Hawk. One of them was a woman. That woman's family is afraid to put her name out there because they know that she will be blamed for this crash, despite there being absolutely no evidence one way or another.
She wasn't blamed. Or who was to blame for the crash, right? The plane was in the right of way, right? The person that was driving the Black Hawk said, I take responsibility and I see the plane that you're talking about. But they was looking at the wrong plane. And went into the zone they wasn't supposed to go into, where they took responsibility. The plane was not in the wrong. The plane was in the right. The communication was with the person inside of the chopper. The person say, I got it. I see it. I take full responsibility. So if that person say, I take it and I take full responsibility, who else can we blame it on? If they was warned by the tower, even though the tower didn't have the proper staff and all of those stuff, you can't blame it on the tower. The tower done its job before and after, right? You can't blame it on the pilot of the plane, because the plane was landing. It cannot maneuver the same as the Black Hawk. It can't maneuver, it can't do that. Right? So even if it saw the plane or it saw the Black Hawk, it's not possible that it can maneuver in a timely fashion to miss or to detour or or anything. The only person that can maneuver was the Black Hawk. The only person that can get out the way and dies was the Black Hawk. The only person that wasn't supposed to be in the zone at that time was the Black Hawk. The only person that took responsibility and said, I see what you're telling me and I see that plane was the Black Hawk. So evidently that person, right, man, woman, or whatever, made a mistake and didn't know the coordinations or didn't know what the dude in the cockpit, because he had to tell the coordination. Look, at 5 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 12, whatever coordination they see, it's the such and such 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, whatever code they use, right? They have to use, it's to your 5 o'clock, it's to your center, whatever the radar, you have to know that. Oh, it's too much such and such, too much such and such, 5 meters such and such foot. He's telling you the whole time. Do you see it? I don't think you see it. He's telling you, I see it. I'm telling you I see it. You said you see it twice. So who is that to blame on? Is it because of standard DEI training? Is it, what was it? What it had to be something. If the plane done its job, the tower done its job, everybody done its job but the Black Hawk.
Skin color.
I think this is very simple. Donald Trump doesn't like the appearance of not being in control, and he doesn't like the appearance or the implication that he may have been at fault. Now, you can like that or dislike that. It doesn't matter. That is the clear analysis and why he jumps to conclusions.
Black people.
But I would say, and brace yourself for a sweeping generational attack. I hear every baby boomer dad that I know when I hear Donald Trump say, it's just common sense.
Common sense.
Latinos. He's talking about y'all too.
Not speaking specifically to DEI, but any conclusion you would reach on something that happens.
Common sense. Common sense. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know who's at fault. Common sense.
It's common sense. I already know what happened. I don't need an investigation. I don't need people to look into this. I know how it happened.
Brown people. He talking about Cambodians. He talking about Asians. Native Americans.
But he's the
And
president.
but
of
that's
the
why
United
he's the president,
States.
is
But hang
because
on, he's
he
the president
connects
of
with
the
that
United
mentality.
States.
He talking about everybody who ain't white.
He's got access to information I don't have access, or your dad, or your dad, or whoever's dad does not have access to the information he has access to.
But white women, he really talking about y'all too.
So here's what I know. I know a number of people who voted for Donald Trump for the first time. They were so disgusted. Then
I don't want to hear that shit. We don't want to hear that shit, right? But think about what they want you to believe, that Donald Trump is so slick that they were the DEI, right, to form a narrative, right? And let's say DEI is going to be taken out. Everybody know what DEI is. A program. It's not getting black people hired. It's not getting white people fired. It's not doing none of that shit, right? It's a program that's separating us, and it's a funding that you don't need. Get rid of it. Get hired on your merits. Not that you fit a category. Okay, he finished this DEI program, so he's qualified for this position. Why? Because now he know how to handle white people and black people, because he took this training. You know, white people feel this way and black people feel this way, right? Or we need to give this person a position because we got to meet a quota. It's too many white people have this position, so now we got to hire somebody black. Huh? So when you take diversity, equity, inclusion out of it, right, you have to go with the best qualified. Now, if that person was the best qualified for the job, that person would have knew 5 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 500 degrees, 200 degrees, when it's due to consistently telling you, bitch, is something coming. There's a plane right there. What are you doing right there? You said, oh, I said I take full responsibility. Well, maneuver your ass out the way. Right? It was too late. And you could tell when the dude was black. You can wait. Let me we can, matter of fact, we can look for it. What was it? DC crash, DC plane crash, audio. Plane crash, audio control. Here you go, right here.
Listen, if you've been in a car,
You could tell the dude was black. Not to say that it was his fault. Here you go.
Yep, we saw it. And everybody just hold your positions, please, on the field right now.
Wait, this is...
South 43, ready for taxi.
Everyone's going to have to hold for down.
Wait, it's not... We talk about... Okay, we're audio right here. This is the audio.
Did you see that? 472. American 3130, go around, turn left in 250, climb maintain 3000. Okay, left heading 350, 3000, American 3130.
What the...
Lucy 347, go around, climb maintain 3000, flight 3000, heading, go around 3000.
That's the aftermath. I'm talking about the actual crash. Okay, air traffic controller audio capture moments before. Okay, here we go.
From the National Transportation Safety Board is now headed to that crash site to learn more about what led up to it.
Our national. This is the terrifying moment the American Airlines flight collided with an Army Black Hawk helicopter at 8:48 Wednesday night. After the horrific crash, multiple local and federal agencies sending rescue units. Air traffic controllers asked the jet if it could land on a shorter runway, and the pilot says yes. Controllers then cleared the plane to land. A short time later, audio we obtained pinpoints the moment inside the air traffic control tower as they witnessed the collision.
Star 1 star 32017.
Audible gasps heard in the background, and seconds later,
Did you see that?
the National Investigative Unit also tracked what appears to be the adjusted final approach. You can see it brought the plane east of the main runways and over the river. The last tracking point we found, the plane was at an altitude less than 300 feet, going about 128 miles an hour.
Right, 128 miles per hour. The plane could have maneuvered. Man, I wanted the audio before audio airplane crash in Washington. I wanted to hear the before. Why didn't I let me hear the before, man? That was the audio before. I know I heard it. I know I heard it. Let me look at my history. Let me look up my damn history. I heard it, I heard it yesterday before. The audio. Here you go. I think this is right here. Is this it?
We've always said never sell a house.
Ah! Well, one average controller working 2 positions.
Final approach to Reagan National Airport.
Look at the search for the bodies of dozens of people presumed dead in the Potomac River.
Man,
and now
I don't know where it's at, but it was an audio of them saying, "Get your ass out the way! you about to crash, you person. You about to crash." I don't know where that audio at. I don't know if CNN had it or whatever. Did CNN have it? I think it was CNN. Was it CNN? Did CNN have it? Okay, let's go to update video. Let me see. Showing DC plane crash. Showing new angles. I think this is it. Miracle. Is this it right here? Boom.
What led to that horrific crash? Both of the so-called black boxes have been recovered from the commercial jet, are being examined and analyzed. Those black boxes are going to be key to pinpointing what exactly happened in the moments before the deadly crash. CNN's Renee Marr.
This sort of thing does not happen again.
Doing the same.
Oh, man.
Did acknowledge.
Damn all that. I can't find it. But we all know, right, that if you have the best qualified for the job, other countries have the best qualified, right? You always have the best qualified in any other thing. Why we can't have the best qualified to run the country? The Democrats always want to go with some equity and inclusion and wonder why some shit always fucked up, right? It's because of equity and inclusion that the black community think they're getting some shit that the white people benefiting from, right? They fight this shit for white people, right? That is, look, think about what think about the Democrats are saying, right? What they're telling you is they want to have the immigrants in here so they can have these motherfuckers work as slave laborers to pick their fucking fruits, right? To pick their fucking strawberries, ain't that racist? Right? To build their houses. Ain't that what they used to do back in the day? Pick cotton and build pyramids and houses and shit like that. What you're saying is you want some slaves to pick your cotton so you can get some cheaper bananas, so you can get some cheaper fruit, so you can get some cheaper watermelon. Right? You don't give a fuck about what the person go through. You don't give a fuck about what the person get paid. Right? You don't give a fuck about the person well-being as long as you can get some motherfucking strawberries in your latte. Right? You don't give a fuck what that person go through. Right? You want to fight for the new. I want to fight for this motherfucker to sit out here and I don't know what kind of degree weather and pick my motherfucking fruits so I can put on my latte. I want my motherfucking strawberries for my smoothies. Huh? Bring as many of them up in here as you want to. They don't have to be intelligent. They don't have to be smart. They don't have to add to the well-being of the country as long as they can pick a motherfucking banana. It's all right with me. As long as the motherfucker can pick a strawberry and milk a cow, it's all right with me. I wouldn't give a fuck how many you bring up here. The more you bring up here, the cheaper my motherfucking latte will be. Huh? The cheaper my soybean will be. I don't give a fuck what they go through. I don't give a fuck they go through back busting heat and all. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Right? Milk my chickens. Milk my eggs. Lunch. Do all that shit. Huh? I give a fuck about what you go through. Working in farms, which is also called a plantation. The New Age plantation. Bring all of them. Ain't that little? They used to bring them over on boats. Now they bring the motherfuckers over on planes. They used to bring the slaves over on boats. Joe Biden brought the slaves over in planes. Huh? Donald Trump is into slavery. He into slavery as you know it. Motherfucker said, bring all of them in so they can make my strawberries cheap. We need somebody to work these damn farms and plantations. These black people ain't gonna do it. How you know they ain't gonna do it? Huh? Cause they're gonna work, cause they're gonna have demands, and you gotta pay them a proper wage, and you gotta give them benefits, what you so-called think every American deserves, right? That'll be a way to give motherfuckers some. Let them work the chickens and the corns and all that shit. Hire them, hire enough people, right? Where you get a mass production and you can pay people well, and you can still get all the berries and cherries you want because you be paying people a fair wage, and you get more production with legal citizens. But you don't want to do that. You want to pay slave wages. Bring them over here and milk my cows and work and clean my beds. And they work in hospitality where they answer phones and make up the beds in the motels and sweep Disneyland. Huh? They do all the work that we don't want to do. They work in factories. Huh? They work in slaughterhouses. They do all the work that we don't want to do. Why we don't want to do it? Because we said we don't want to do it. It's not because we asked. We just said, we just assumed they didn't want to do it. Because we assume they don't want to work for pennies on the dollar. Right? We're afraid they might form a union or some shit of niggas picking cherries of America. We want equal rights and pick with cherries. Look, we picking these motherfucking watermelon and we picking these apples and shit. We want equal pay. We want minimum wage. Hell no. We want this slave labor. Huh? Even though 1% of all, I think it's like 1% of all illegal immigrants or 5% of all illegal immigrants pick fruit. Right? They got machines and all kinds of shit to do that shit now. We got technology to do that, right? But long as they can work in my stoves and do all the dirty work that I don't want to do, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. The new age slavery. Slavery ain't ended. We just gave the motherfuckers a better wage. We just gave the motherfuckers more rights. Huh? First they used to fight against slavery, now these motherfuckers fighting for slavery. Democrats some slick motherfuckers, ain't they? Huh? They some slick. Them motherfuckers are so motherfucking slick. Hillary Clinton was look. Hillary Clinton was more about. Did you hear Hillary Clinton anti-immigration? You think she make Donald Trump look like a choir girl? Hillary Clinton. I put Hillary Clinton against immigration. Yeah, it's right there. Look at this shit.
So I think we got to have tough conditions. Tell people to come out of the shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No question.
Wait, ain't that what Donald Trump doing? Ain't that what Donald Trump doing? Deport them. They committed a crime, deport them. Ain't that what Donald Trump doing? This bitch is the queen of deportation.
Questions asked, they're gone.
They're gone.
If they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally.
Whoa! You got to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. She had a way to citizens. You got to pay a couple hundred. She would be in a coyote.
You have to pay back taxes.
Whoa, and back taxes. You got to pay back taxes. Woo-hoo. Donald Trump didn't even say no shit like that.
Pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes. And you have to try to learn English.
Whoa.
And you have to wait in line.
Whoa. You got to learn English and you got to wait in line. Hillary Clinton was a beast. Huh? Hillary Clinton was a beast.
You know, I think that the president took action last night that I support. It was in the face of not only past inaction, but I think it's fair to say for those of us who have observed the Congress's attitude toward immigration in the House of Representatives, likely to be the future as well. And what the president did is in line with already existing actions by both Democratic and Republican predecessors. And I think he really carved out what he could statutorily, constitutionally do and made a commitment to that. And the way we should best deal with his executive action is for the Congress to pass its own legislation and to try to, if possible, follow the lead of the bipartisan agreement that was passed in the Senate.
And that's to deport the shit out of them. That's to deport the shit out of them, right? Where's she at? Democrats' new border barriers, right? Oh, border barriers. Remember the Democrats had the border barriers? Remember the Democrats about the border barriers at first? They was all with that shit. We're going to build walls and all kind of shit. Remember that? That was Democrats. These are Democrats all Donald Trump following.
Thing that is not thought through and is primarily put forward for political consumption. The bill before us will certainly do some good. It will authorize some badly needed funding for better fences and better security along our borders. The fence is now basically complete. Maybe they'll need a moat. Maybe they want alligators in the moat.
Secure our borders with technology, personnel, physical barriers if necessary in some places. We will not build a wall. Instead, we will build an economy where everyone who wants a good job can get one.
I voted for a fence. I voted unlike most Democrats, and some of you won't like it. I voted for 700-mile fence. And let me tell you something, folks. People are driving across that border with tons, hear me, tons of everything from byproducts from methamphetamine to cocaine to heroin. It's all coming up through corrupt Mexico.
And the impulse is to hunker down, shut the gates, build walls, exit at this moment is precisely the wrong answer.
Former presidents have said to him that they wish that they had built a wall. Do you recall President Obama ever saying that?
Come on.
Construction of a 630-mile border fence create a significant barrier to illegal immigration on our southern land border. All along, the president's saying, well, I'll do DACA and Dreamers in return for the wall. He's got it. President Trump, if you want to open the government, you must abandon the wall.
You must abandon the wall.
You know, I think
you must abandon the wall. Hold on, new immigration plan. Hold on. Let's see Biden, Obama new immigration plan. Right.
I continue to believe that the best way to solve this problem is by working together to pass that kind of common sense law. But until that happens, there are actions I have the legal authority to take as president, the same kinds of actions taken by Democratic and Republican presidents before me, that will help make our immigration system more fair and more just. Tonight, I'm announcing those actions. First, we'll build on our progress at the border with additional resources for our law enforcement personnel so that they can stem the flow of illegal crossings and speed the return of those who do cross over.
Whoa, that's all like Donald Trump shit right there. Huh? I'd have put this up with Donald Trump. This shit sound like Donald Trump. Send some people to the border and stem the flow and send motherfuckers back at rapid speed.
Second, I'll make it easier and faster for high-skilled immigrants, graduates, and entrepreneurs to stay and contribute to our economy.
Whoa, ain't that what Donald Trump done with the call it plan? Ain't that what he done? And he was called racist? Oh, the smartest and the brightest. Don't do that. That was racist. You sound like Donald Trump.
As so many business leaders have proposed. Third, we'll take steps to deal responsibly with the millions of undocumented immigrants who already live in our country. I want to say more about this third issue because it generates the most passion and controversy. Even as we are a nation of immigrants, we're also a nation of laws.
Whoa! What you say, Obama? We are a nation of immigrants. We are a nation of laws. Man, this nigga Donald Trump stole Obama's speech. All this time, I thought Donald Trump was the original. This nigga Obama is the original motherfucking reporter in chief. Donald Trump, you ain't got shit on Obama.
Undocumented workers broke our immigration laws, and I believe that they must be held accountable, especially those who may be dangerous.
Whoa! You mean the ones that Donald Trump picking up right now? The rapers and the murderers and the killers and all that, you know what I'm saying? You mean them people right now, Obama? Is that the people you mean? This nigga, Donald Trump, stole Obama's speech damn near word for word. I'm telling you.
That's why over the past 6 years, deportations of criminals are up 80%.
Whoa! 80%? What the fuck, Obama? 80%? You doing way more than Donald Trump. You doing way more than Donald Trump. Donald Trump, wait a minute. Donald Trump, wait a minute. Donald Trump is not biting you. This is not your law. My bad, Obama. You and Donald Trump is only stating the Constitution. My bad. I thought this whole time Donald Trump was stealing your shit. But evidently, both of y'all was reading from the same Constitution. Oh my, you know what? My bad, Donald Trump. I accuse you of stealing Barack Obama's shit, but evidently y'all been reading from the same Constitution. Evidently y'all been reading from the same laws. Evidently y'all executed the same executive orders and the same executive powers from the Constitution, but y'all have the power to do. My bad. You were just reading from the same shit. My bad.
And that's why we're going to keep focusing enforcement resources on actual threats to our security.
Whoa!
Felons,
Whoa.
not families.
Felons, not families. Felons, woo. Y'all read from the Constitution damn near word for word.
Criminals, not children. Gang members, not a mom who's working hard to provide for her kids. We'll prioritize, just like law enforcement does every day. But even as we focus on deporting criminals, the fact is millions of immigrants in every state, of every race and nationality, still live here illegally.
Whoa, so what you gonna do about that? That nigga said, even though, you know what I'm saying, y'all over here, y'all still live over here illegally.
And let's be honest, tracking down, rounding up, and deporting millions of people isn't realistic. Anyone who suggests otherwise isn't being straight with you. It's also not who we are as Americans. After all, most of these immigrants have been here a long time. They work hard, often in tough, low-paying jobs.
Whoa!
They support their families. They worship at our churches. Many of their kids are American-born or spent most of their lives here. And their hopes, dreams, and patriotism are just like ours. As my predecessor...
That's what you different from Donald Trump, you son of a bitch. You started off good, but you ended fucked up, you dirty, rotten son of a bitch. Let's hear what Bill Clinton got to say.
All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country.
He said he gonna come after your ass. Look, I remember this one. He said, nigga, I'm finna come after your ass. If you hire some illegal motherfuckers, I'm coming after your ass. I think this is the speech when Bill Clinton said this shit at the State of the Union. I'm gonna come after all you motherfuckers that hire illegal sons of bitches.
Country are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. The jobs they hold might otherwise be held by citizens or legal immigrants. The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers.
Whoa!
That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more, by hiring a record number of new border guards, by deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before,
whoa,
by cracking down on illegal hiring, by barring welfare benefits to illegal aliens.
Whoa.
In the budget I will present to you, we will try to do more to speed the deportation of illegal aliens who are arrested for crimes, to better identify illegal aliens in the workplace, as recommended by the commission headed by former Congresswoman Barbara Jordan. We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws.
Whoa, what happened to these Democrats? What happened to these Democrats?
It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse of our immigration laws we have seen in recent years, and we must do more to stop it.
these Democrats were way worse than Donald Trump. If you had Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, and Obama together, right, they was way worse than Donald Trump. Look, they get that shit a standing ovation. God damn, what happened to these Democrats? This one, they was united. It ain't a person sitting down. Even the crippled people standing up. Look at this. He trying to stand up. Look at this. He clapping. Everybody clapping. This nigga got everybody in the Senate and the House to clap at the State of the Union. This is the only thing they agreed on. Look. Look. You don't see nobody sitting down. You don't see nobody sitting. Look. You don't see nobody sitting down. Nobody sitting down. Not clapping.
Wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse of our immigration
1995, not a person sitting down.
Laws we have seen in recent years, and we must do more to stop it.
Look, everybody stood up. Look, everybody standing. Everybody, Democrat, Republican, you know what I'm saying? Independent, some motherfucker. Everybody clapping. They not clapping. It's the Senate. They clapping, damn it. Huh? 100%. Not using the law. What happened to these Democrats? These motherfuckers worse than Donald Trump. They was way worse than Donald Trump. Huh? Wait, what was this? Joe Biden on immigration 19. This is here Joe Biden in 1993.
Ms. Baird, I have a number of questions relating to the actual functioning of the office, from law enforcement to the anti-crime agenda to the drug strategy to healthcare fraud, cooperation with the intelligence community and others, all of which I will get to. But as you know, from our...
Oh, yeah, this is what I think of Joe Biden. It wasn't Bill Clinton. It was Joe Biden talking about the hiring of immigrants, I think. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't Bill Clinton. I think it was Joe Biden. I think this was it right here.
First meeting, I have a fairly, well, I won't say fairly, I have a very strong view relating to the matter to which you spoke last, and that is the hiring of undocumented workers.
Yeah, it was Joe Biden. I knew it was one of them. I got elephant memory. I knew it was one of them. It was Joe Biden talking about the hiring of illegal immigrants, you know what I'm saying, and the bill for that, right? It was him. It wasn't Clinton. It was his ass.
By you and your husband. When we first met on January the 5th, following your being named by President-elect Clinton to be Attorney General, you volunteered this fact to me. You volunteered the circumstances under which this hiring took place, and you volunteered that what did take place was a violation of the United States immigration law. I've spoken to you at length about this matter, and you've been interviewed by the FBI and by the committee investigative staff under oath. And this matter is, as you know, a serious one in my view. The committee and the public, as we've discussed, has to be assured that you are, without exception, going to be willing to enforce the law. And the immigration law falls under your responsibility. It happens on your watch as Attorney General. And I believe it's important you have an opportunity to explain in even greater detail than you have in your opening statement the various circumstances surrounding this hiring. Now, let me begin my question, if I may, on this matter, and then when my second round is up, we'll get back to those matters that have not been touched upon, and I expect everything will have been relating to the substantive operation of the department.
Huh? He used to get on motherfuckers for hiring illegal immigrants, right? He used to hold hearings and all that shit about illegal immigrants, huh? Yeah, what happened to that, Joe Biden?
All Americans.
What happened to that?
I continue to believe that the best.
What happened to that, Joe Biden? We got one more before we up out of here. Let me see. One more.
Here are the hottest models
we don't need to know hottest models and none of that shit. We want to see what Barack got to say. Hold on.
It's not going to be a free ride. It's not going to be some instant amnesty. What's going to happen is you are going to pay a significant fine. You are going to learn English. You are going to go to the back of the line so that you don't get ahead of somebody who was in Mexico City applying legally.
Oh, shit.
But after you've done these things over a certain period of time, you can earn your citizenship. So that it's not something that is guaranteed or automatic. You've got to earn it, but over time, you give people an opportunity. Now, it only works, though, if you do all the pieces. I think the American people, they appreciate and believe in immigration, but they can't have a situation where you just have 500,000 people pouring over the border without any kind of mechanism to control it. So we
500,000? Try 10 million, motherfucker. That nigga said 500,000. Try 10 million.
We've got to deal with that at the same time as we deal in a humane fashion with folks who have put down roots here, have become our neighbors, have become our friends. They may have children who are U.S. citizens.
That's what I'm saying. That's where you fuck up at. That's where you fuck up at. That's where you fuck up at. That's where Obama fuck up at. But I just wanted to show you how the Democrats is some lying motherfuckers. They always say something, but they believe the opposite, right? They always say, hey, we believe in this, we believe in that. But they really don't believe in this, they really in that. They want these motherfuckers to come over here as slaves now. First, they didn't want to come over here. Now they want these motherfuckers to come over here as slaves. I'm up out of here. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I have another show for y'all tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in. See you tomorrow. I'm out. Hey, get up out of here. Wait, how you? What the hell? How can I? Wait a minute. Let me see. What is it? Not yet. What the hell? How can I? Wait, how can I? Is it cut off? It said go live. I can't go live. I gotta end this damn thing. How can I end it? Let me try to